All right, welcome into Prop 5 Monday. A huge day of sports today. We have Monday Night Football between the Bucks and the Chiefs. We also have a full NBA card. College basketball kicks off today. So lots of stuff going on in the sporting world today. Make sure you're checking out all of our fantasy sponsors and gambling sponsors at 5 Reasons Sports. First of all, you have Better Edge. You can use the code 5RSN. Get yourself $20 when you sign up on Better Edge. Social betting marketplace. Make your own lines. Join our contest. Great place to play. Prize Picks, you can use the code 5 for that one. You get $50 when you sign up on Prize Picks. Over-under games, all player props. Prize Picks is great for that. And our new fantasy sponsor is Underdog. Go to Underdog Fantasy. You get yourself up to $1,000 in bonus bets if you use the code 5 on Underdog. Similar to Prize Picks, over-under on player props. So lots of different options for you depending on what state you're in and what is offered in your state. But lots of opportunities to get bonus bets. But let's talk about winning bets, and we're going to start with the NFL with Monday Night Football. We have the Bucks at the Chiefs. It is a 8 to 8.5, now up to 9 in some places. Looks like even some 9.5. So you have really a 1-point swing, different books depending on where you're at. Honestly, look, Chiefs haven't lost. The Bucks have been very competitive. They're getting banged up a little bit, especially at the wide receiver position. Just keeping in mind with that, it's going to be interesting in terms of how the Bucks can keep pace with the Chiefs. I don't necessarily think they can. Looking at the line, 8.5. I always talk about teasers. Yesterday, if you would have teased, basically, I think every single favorite, if I'm right about this, every single favorite covered yesterday, especially if you would have teased them down, you would have just raked them in with the wins, because the only one that didn't win was the Saints. Obviously lost by 1 point at the end to the Panthers. So keeping in mind with that, I don't really have a play on this in terms of Chiefs or Bucks. I do have a couple player props, but if I were looking to tease, you could tease down the Chiefs to 2.5. If you got that 8.5 at 9 or 9.5, not a teaser play at all. In terms of over under, that is 45.5. Oh man, that's seems like a low total, but also the Chiefs like to kind of just put the ball in kind of like coast mode in the second half. So a lot of times they don't score a lot in the second half, even if that number is looking good early on. So I would kind of avoid the total in that one. I do have 2 player props. Actually, I'm sorry. I have 2 player props. My first one is Kareem Hunt, over 16.5 rushing attempts. I played it at over 17.5 also at even money. I think that he's going to have a workload. Obviously, Isaiah Pacheco still isn't back, but seems to be getting closer. And my other one is also with the Chiefs, Noah Gray, over 21.5 receiving yards. Over on that one for Noah Gray. Obviously, the Chiefs also suffering injuries at the wide receiver position, and I think that Mr. Noah Gray is going to have a role for himself on Monday Night Football. Looking at the NBA, obviously, some people don't really bet the NBA early on. This is one of those games or one of those days where you have a ton of games. Every single team plays tonight. The NBA is giving everyone off tomorrow due to the election, so people can get out and vote and I guess not go to NBA games. But there is a staggered start basically across the entire NBA. Starting at 7 o'clock, you'll see if you can see the times here. Basically, every 15 minutes, there is a game that tips up, and that will run all the way until Spurs and Clippers at 10:30 tonight. So you have constant basketball going on, including your Miami Heat hosting the Sacramento Kings tonight. I'm going to go through and give a couple props, a couple plays that I have. You can use those on Prize Picks, use those on Underdog for the sides and totals or money lines. Obviously, you can go to Better Edge and play those. So I'm just going to fly through these. You can find them on my Action app profile, Sean_Rochester. But here are my plays that I'm rolling with from a variety of sources tonight. So starting with actually the Heat game, Sabonis over 3.5 first quarter rebounds. This is a great play that has been very, very effective. Give me 1 second to pull up this write-up because I thought it was very interesting when I rolled into this. This is from Joe Delara. Sabonis has been slightly different in the rotation. He's playing more like 10.5 minutes compared to 9.7 minutes last year. 2 tough matchups that he had in the last 2 games, the Wolves and the Lakers. But he had 5+ rebounds against the Blazers, Jazz, Hawks, and Raptors, averaging 4.7 rebounds in the first quarter. Now he gets the Miami Heat. If you know anything about the Miami Heat, you would know that they don't rebound the ball very well. averaging 4.6 first quarter rebounds against the Miami Heat since 2021, when Bam plays with at least 3 in every game and 4 or more in 4 out of 5 games against the Miami Heat. As I mentioned, the Heat 22nd in rebound percentage this season. They have been hovering at the bottom, honestly, for most of the season. Obviously, it's early on, small sample size, but they allow the 6th most rebounds per game to their opponent. Sabonis records 36% of his rebounds in the first quarter. Great angle to attack. So, Joe Delara, thank you for that write-up. I am targeting that because we all know that the Miami Heat do not rebound the ball very well, period. So you're isolating just that first quarter. Domantas Sabonis over 3.5 first quarter rebounds. Other things I'm on today, I'm on the Bucks plus 245 at the Cavs. Not a great start to the season, but I think that they are better than what they've shown. They're 7.5 point dogs. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Lakers minus 6.5 against the Pistons. Not a good team in there. I do think it's going to be a high scoring game. Pistons over their team total 109.5. Celtics at Hawks. I am over on that one, over 234. Celtics continue to just bomb up and down the floor, bomb threes, and the Hawks play at a fast pace. So that should be good for the over there. Derek White in that game, over 24.5 points and assists. Memphis at Brooklyn, over 225.5 in that one. Sacramento, I'm going to sprinkle on the money line. I just still don't think this Heat team is very good. I know we got to win on Saturday, but we beat a bad Wizards team. And if you know anything about the Heat, it seems like we beat bad teams and we lose to good teams. And I think Sacramento is at least a decent team, good team. Over in the Hornets and Wolves game, 226.5 in that one. Oklahoma City minus 11.5 at home against the Magic. That should be a good game, but the Magic are suffering are going through some injury troubles right now with Paolo out. In the Blazers game, I have 2 props. DeAndre Ayton, over 26.5 points and rebounds. He's had a great start to the season. He may be a guy that's a trade candidate, but I think that he's a guy that could be playing well tonight, especially on the rebounding side, and then sprinkle in some points to go over that 26.5 points. Yves Missi, name that some Heat fans might know from the draft prep over the summer. I know our guys Eterno and Adele, those guys are really high on him. Missi over 1.5 blocks. This has been a good one that I've hit a couple of times early in the season with Missi. Luka over 16.5 rebounds and assists in the Pacers-Dallas game. That would be a fun one to watch with the pace that those teams play and the scoring power. First half, team total, Toronto Raptors under 53.5 in that game. I'm going to go under on the Raptors team total. Tonight, Paul George is apparently making his debut for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm going to fade Kelly Oubre's status in that game because Paul George is back. And then I have the Spurs money line against the Clippers. The Clippers, 1, haven't played very well. They're not very good. They have a lot of injuries. And 2, I'm playing a little bit of an angle on the Pop news. Obviously, he's not going to be there, but I think the team rallies behind their coach who's dealing with some health issues. I will likely have more props as the day goes on. Make sure you check my Action App profile. There will be other content throughout the day. I know there was a 5 on the floor that just dropped. Make sure you get all our gambling content and basketball, football, all that content, especially, with the Dolphins. It's not very positive news, but at least we got you covered. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.